So at this point, I just wanted to mention, normally I record with no audio just for the overlay of the gameplay for my videos. My game is already crashed and I just tried to start recording. So, um, if that doesn't give any indication of what state the game is in right now, I got to reconnect, which is nice. But, yeah. Is it too little too late, or can Grayzone Warfare recoup a lot of its player base? Hi, my name is Young Noodle, and today I want to talk about the recent release of the roadmap that Grayzone Warfare and Madfinger Games talked about and released, and basically my thoughts on it. So, recently, Madfinger Games posted a roadmap for Grayzone Warfare and upcoming updates and content that they plan for the game, and you can find that on the link below. I'll have that if you guys want to check it out. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is I wanted to talk about, I think, our experience that a lot of us had with Grayzone Warfare, and between the release to now, and whether or not any of this excites you guys. I played Grayzone Warfare. I picked up the biggest package, and I streamed it day one. I played it for about a couple weeks, and I had a lot of fun with my friends, and it was just all around, like, aside from the tech issues, it was an alright experience. I had a good time, and it was really good with the community of the game, and when we were playing, people were helping each other out with quests, but after that initial kind of grace period that you get, that honeymoon phase, the game, I think personally, is too bare bones, and the roadmap that they released is adding features that I think are really cool, but things that kind of they're not expansions really. They're not new maps. They're not anything that I think is crazy enough to recoup some of the player base. As of right now, I'm recording this video at around 6 p.m. and it's a Monday, so obviously the player base is not going to be anything crazy. But as you can see here on the SteamDB charts, like right now there's around 600 players, but they really peak like over 1,000. They go between 500 to 1,000 back and forth. And obviously on release, this game had almost 100k players, and that's the release of the game with the hype. It's never gonna hit that amount unless something crazy happens, like you have the Among Us effect or something like that with the game or whatever. But that less than 1,000 players for a game this ambitious is crazy to me. And I really wanted this game to succeed, and it released in a time where one of the biggest extraction shooters, Escape from Tarkov, was having issues with releasing their Unheard edition. They were having a lot of drama, so the release period obviously got a lot of attention. People were looking for a replacement for Tarkov at the time, and they said that they didn't release the game in plans with that, and they had plans way back to release the game. I believe the release was in January or February, something like that, but that obviously came off a little weird. But the game was not ready. The day one, the game was awful. Joining friends, people were losing gear, people were paying $100 and something for their gamma containers with extra storage, and they were losing their gamma containers. Quests were not completing. Everything was busted. And obviously it's an early access game, but I think the problem with a lot of early access games is, one, they never leave early access, but two, they don't release at a time where the game feels like I understand that early access, we're kind of supposed to be testing things, but I honestly feel like we're coming in as like dev play testers with the builds that they're releasing for games. And this is not Grayzone Warfare that just does this, but a lot of games that release in early access, they rely on the crowdfunding to get them through those early stages of development. And if Grayzone Warfare released with this stuff in mind, and they released the roadmap in the beginning, or at least have the day, night, and cycle and some other stuff in the beginning, it would have been better for the player base. It would have been healthier for the player base to keep people in. But now the game is just the same thing over and over again, and it's a beautiful game and it's really fun. But when it comes to the bare bones of like what the gameplay is, if you're gonna go in, and maybe correct me, I know there's a lot of people that still play the game and still grind it and still stream it every day and still make videos of it, and that's awesome. The game looks great, but the PvP, just to be blatant, it sucks. It's very desyncy. The gear doesn't really matter. It's it's all right, to the point that the main thing enjoyable with the PvP is the realism of the game, and that comes down to basically most of the game is the realism. The realism for the game is amazing. The ambience, the foliage, the way the world feels alive and stuff like that. But the AI and the PvP just take you out of it. The AI is still busted. The PvP is still busted, and it needs a lot of work. And I'm not saying the game is bad, and I'm not saying the game like is something that you shouldn't try, but it is something that I feel like shouldn't have released when it did, and they should have waited longer. Now, I don't know how that works with investors or how financial stuff works with that. I'm just giving an outside perspective, so obviously what I'm saying, like, this is all my opinion. It could be wrong, but you got a roadmap for spring of 2027. And the main things that are included in that roadmap, unless they are going to plan on adding things in between, but the main things, we got the Night Ops update where they're adding flashlights, more updated AI for nighttime, and day and night cycle. Then you got Dark Revelations, which let me take a look at that and just get the summary again. You got Dark Revelations where they're going to be adding rain and basically more immersive weather to make it look nicer and make the island more captivating. Then you have Rise as an Elite Operator, which they're going to have certifications and stuff that you can basically like fight rival factions and have camps and stuff like that. But then again, like, and sorry for like reading this during the video, but like even then, like I have to read this like a third time because this stuff seems so, and like I said, I'll link it down below. It seems so vague. I just don't understand the like why even release a roadmap like this if there's not just like bullet points of what exactly they're gonna add, because this is just like storytelling at this point. Because there's Forge the Tools of Battle, they're adding crafting, and they have a paragraph talking about that, but it's basically just they're adding crafting, which the Elite Operator is fall 2025. Then you have to wait till spring 2026 for the crafting. Then fall 2026, they have Strike from the Shadows, which they're adding more stealth stuff, which from my understanding is they're going to work more on having skills in the game to make it more RPG-like, and then work on the AI as well as your character to implement stealth into the game, other than just, I guess, maybe it'll add like that Far Cry feel of stealth where you can go behind people and like assassinate them and stab them and take their gun, drag bodies and stuff. That would be actually a cool thing to add, but it's just the timeline for this is, I don't know, it almost feels like disrespectful. Like 70,000 people live on day one, and obviously there were refunds and stuff like that, but that's a lot of money. And I understand this game is very ambitious, but like this is a long time. We got Engage in Rising Tensions, spring 2027. Just to remember, check the date on your phone. We are in 2024 right now. And we have Engage in Rising Tensions, which is basically, from what I see, it's battling the other factions, and there will be like control over each territory. So you'll be actually able to like fight over territory. And then Battle over Ground Zero, which has no date, which, if you're unfamiliar with Ground Zero, is the basically where the lore of the game starts and why they're fighting over the land, I guess, is the middle part of the map is a red zone that you cannot enter, and that area is I guess supposed to be added to the game. It's an epic finale and the culmination of all lore and PMC activities, every move, battle, and so it's just like, I guess, like a high PvP area with a rewarding conclusion to your adventures. So that's like end game stuff. Again, it doesn't even explain how it's going to work. It's just talking like it's a movie reveal trailer. And then Beyond the Future, which is basically saying that the game is only 20% complete. There's a big journey ahead. They're going to optimize the game, and they need your feedback. And, you know, the devs of this team are probably some of the nicest people that I've ever seen, but this roadmap is just, like I said, a kind of slap in the face to the people who were promised a lot of things. They're still having optimization issues. The game still crashes on people. You could look at the forums and everything like that. The AI is still buggy. You shoot people, they still don't die. items still disappear from time to time. It's a lot less than it was before, but the thing is, I just don't understand. And like, I understand it's a smaller dev team, but, and you know, the roadmap could change. They could do some of the stuff earlier, but like their biggest update that they're releasing out of all of this, the one that has the most content that they're talking about, is Night Ops, and it's adding a flashlight, a couple of improvements to the AI for nighttime, some night vision goggles, and that's a day and night cycle. Like, I understand, but there's so many extraction shooters out there right now, and that's what also sucks for Grayzone, is I think they just don't know what they want to be. But the whole extracting thing, I think, needs to go from that game. This is my opinion, obviously, but they should have figured out what they wanted to be first, instead of releasing when Tarkov drama was happening and Arena Breakout was going to release and all this stuff. They should have just figured out what they wanted to be, because this game would have been cooler as a first-person co-op Ghost Recon style type game. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, but with Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint, they've had mods that bring the game to first person. It's a whole open world area, and you basically cooperate with your teammates to take over zones and areas, and it's just really realistic. And I think Grayzone Warfare's strongest point in their game is the immersion and realism, and they need to just get rid of this stupid extraction shooter thing that they came in with, because spending forever, just, I know they upped the speeds and everything, but sitting there flying in a helicopter for 10 years to have another enemy team just kill you when you land, or just to sit there in the helicopter for forever just to do nothing. Like, it's just, there's so many things that need to be changed to this game to increase the quality of life, and instead they just decided to release it without any quality of life changes and slowly add it later. And I think that's the biggest mistake, because your game should already have these basic features that other games have in order to compete. And I think, I don't even know what to think anymore. It just, I really wanted this game to do well, but I'm sorry, having a roadmap for spring 2027 when there are currently less than 1,000 people on the game right now and it's declining is a little scary to me. So these are my thoughts. Again, these are just opinions, and you know, if you dislike my opinion on it, I'm not trying to hate on the devs or anything. I just really think that, like, I was hoping for something more exciting than a day and night cycle and everything else to be next year and the year after and the year after. So hopefully this game does some big things, and then maybe I'll come back in and try it. But as someone, and like most of you, we played the game when it came out, and that was it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you still play Grayzone Warfare, how your experience is, and what you think of this roadmap. And I'll see you in the next one.